Hello, and welcome in to today's reading. Before I get into that, I wanted to first let you guys know about my Instagram, where I do other pick a card or general readings. I did do one on Samhain yesterday, or I saw an inspired reading yesterday, so if you want to go check that one out. And my Etsy for personal readings that I do, just be sure you read the guidelines. And going back to today's reading, or this reading, as you can probably guess by the title that this is going to be a general reading on November of 2020, what to expect, what's coming in for November, just a general November reading. We have pile number 1 and pile number 2. I usually do 3 piles here, but today I just felt like doing 2. I'm gonna pick a few crystals for the pile. For pile number 1, we have this citrine. And pile number 2 is this amethyst pendulum. So if you chose your pile, go ahead and go to the timestamps. But for those of you who are still taking the time, feel free to pause the video or whatever. I'm just using this time to clear the space, clear the energy, using the selenite. And I'm going to take this piece of white sage and clear up some more energy in the room. Some around you, so clearing the space. Alright, so I'm gonna get started on pile number 1 in just a few moments. Alright, pile number 1, for those of you guys who chose this piece of citrine here. Okay, so hopefully this message comes out coherent, because usually when I do these readings, I like to write a script of what I want to say, just so the message is coherent and cohesive. It could be my Mercury and Pisces thing, but usually when I try to say something or convey something, it doesn't come out quite the way I want it. But for my readings that I'm doing lately, I am trying to do more of an improv intuition reading and kind of just steer my reading as I go. This one I kind of cheated on because I did clarify a few cards along the way, but anyways. So for pile number 1, we have 10 of Vessels, Happiness. So we're going to ignore this part here and just focus on the image of the card, because even though this card usually conveys happiness or something positive, this one feels like it's more about the waterfall, or like a lot of emotions at once. The song that I reminded of is what is it called? The one by Glass Animals. Waterfalls Come Out of Your Mouth by Glass Animals. That's what I'm thinking of. Or just like purge of emotions coming out. And I think this has more to do with overworking or not taking enough rest or just like doing too much for yourself, which goes in hand with this card here. I allow myself to rest whenever I need to. Rest is wildly productive. So this could be saying for some of you guys that November might be a time for you to rest, or if you're doing a bunch of projects in November, be sure to delegate tasks, or, take it easy. Try not to do everything at once. You don't have to go 110% on absolutely everything. The whole, rise and grind culture, you don't have to adhere to that. For a page of both notes, I usually see this as someone who's kind of looking back. They're kind of weighing their options. They're kind of going, hey, wait a minute, let me just pause and think for a second. And this is a continuation of the Ten of Vessels card, or the Waterfall card, where there's kind of thinking, maybe I'm doing too much, maybe I should pause and think about what I'm doing. There's also, I don't need to have all the answers. My heart knows the way. So some of you might be putting on too much because you think you have to do everything, or you think that if you don't do everything all at once or everything within this time, then you may lose opportunities or whatever. But you might be wasting energy more than you're being productive. I also feel like this is the continuation of this card. I embrace infinite possibilities, so this could be talking about limiting beliefs as well, or at least in the month of November, this might be some of you kind of challenging your limiting beliefs, or at least your limiting beliefs are in the forefront. You're able to deal with them, or not deal with them, but you're able to see the limiting beliefs. You're kind of able to pause and kind of challenge them. And then we have King of Stones, Wolf in reverse. So this one I'm seeing as what I said earlier about delegating tasks and not doing everything all by yourself. This doesn't mean that you're losing power or that you're giving your power. This is more like you don't have to do everything by yourself. You're not a lone wolf here. You can form a team. If you can't find a team, find friends or people that can support you. Maybe there are places online or forums you can do that. But essentially, this is saying that by trying to do everything yourself, or by trying to, trying to do everything by yourself, it's really a waste of energy. You're not really going to get anywhere. Or you might get somewhere, but it might not be as fast as you think, or as fast as you would like it to. So, for the Wolf card, you might find someone to help you. This may or may not be a romantic partner, but I'm not going to rule out the possibilities. But I do feel like someone, or maybe you might find help from someone. I don't think this is a negative reading at all, but it's just saying to take care of yourself, delegate your energy, make sure your energy is being used productively. You also have trust your intuition, which also goes hand in hand with my heart knows the way. I don't need to have all the answers. I also see the Page of Stoats as someone who is looking at other options. Maybe they're going on a certain path, but then they see something else that they might like. And if you're kind of doubting, some of you, I feel like, are doubting this path because I embrace infinite possibilities. And then we have, I trust the wisdom of my body, healing is my natural state, and create an altar. So again, take care of yourself, make sure that, you're not putting out too much energy out there that is wasteful, that you are at least delegating some tasks, you're giving yourself breaks every once in a while, you're not putting on too much for yourself. And I embrace infinite possibilities, and saying to limit what you're doing might sound contradictory. I'm not saying to limit your goals or limit what you want to do, but more so more so like pay attention to what you're doing in your daily life. Can you just do pick 3 things that are important to you, or maybe just one thing that's important to you, and work on that instead of trying to do everything all at once. So this is saying that what you want to do is possible, but the way you're going at it may not be the best way to do it, or you may have limiting beliefs on how to get about it, because some of you might have been taught that you have to do hard work or you have to put in this many hours, but then you hear of other people that, I think it's a 40-hour work week. They don't have to work literally 24/7 to get the results they want. There's such a thing as working harder, not smarter. So for pound number 1, I hope that makes sense. If not, you can just leave a comment down below and I can clarify some things. But I don't feel like doing this reading again, so anyways, that was pound number 1. Pile number 2. For those of you guys chose this pendulum, I do want to use this in a reading sometime, but I'm still getting used to how the pendulum works. Alright. So for you guys, as I said, for pound number 1, I usually write my readings out in advance, so I have a script of what I want to say, but I am trying out to do a more improv intuitive reading, or at least reading as I go. So I want to kind of challenge or test my intuition. And I also think it cuts down our reading time if I'm not clarifying a bunch of times. Alright. This might be about manifestation. Just looking at the exploitation card in reverse, the Seer card, and Knight of Bows. I feel like this is about you overcoming limiting beliefs, knowing what you want, and just going for it, just because of these 3 cards here. But I did want to clarify, just in case. Yep, okay. So I feel like this is about you coming out of a lack mindset or a limiting belief mindset with the Six of Stones exploitation in reverse. This one I'm kind of reading at face value. You know, the exploitation card, you have these two people kind of in a desolate state. But in reverse, I feel like this is saying that you are kind of taking back your power, or you're a little bit more confident, or you're getting out of that lack mentality. Or at least in November, you might start to get out of that lack mentality. And then we have this here card, which is also equivalent to the High Priestess. It's usually about intuition and all that. So I feel like after you get rid of your limiting beliefs, you're going to be more clear in what you want and what you want to do. You have a better picture of how to get it. And then the Nine of Bows, the Respect card, is just you kind of going after that. Or it might be in November is the time to get after that. Because 11/11 is coming up, and I have been seeing a lot of 11/11 lately. We also have I see each challenge as a sacred gift that nourishes my evolution. I am brave enough to embrace my full potential, even when others don't approve or understand. So these two, I feel like, kind of ties in with exploitation card in reverse and this year card about you finally realizing that you don't have to have these limiting beliefs. You know, whatever setbacks you came across, or whatever setbacks you come across, you know that you can overcome those, or you'll have like a different perspective. I feel like November is when you have, at least for part number 2 and part number 1, I feel like November is when you might start to change your perspective on things, especially when it comes to limiting beliefs. Again, it opened my heart to receive love more fully, be more open. All expressions and intentions flow through my heart center. I am love. So I feel like for a lot of you, this is time for, I know I'm repeating myself, but letting go of limiting beliefs, raising your vibrations, being more open to things, you know, shifting your perspectives, more things may start coming in. You might take more challenges because of this. And then we have music. This might be literal. You can just turn on your favorite music or whatever. But I feel like this is more about this is more about expressing yourself artistically. It doesn't have to be like art. It has to be like drawing or writing. It could just be like a way to express yourself. I also feel like it's just, I feel like these 3 cards open my heart to receive love more fully. I open my heart to receive love more fully. All expressions flow through me. I see challenge as a sacred gift, and the music card are basically different ways of saying that you can challenge these limiting beliefs, that it is possible to shift your perspective and to express yourself. Take a bath. I think this is more about clearing negative energy. Again, going back to the exploitation card, clearing that lacking mindset, that limiting mindset. You know, it could be a bath, literally, but it could also just be like a, regular energy cleansing. Or just, a way to challenge those beliefs. Invest in yourself. Because I recently took a money block workshop by Treats Pruitt. I can link her channel down below. So I really like her channel, but I shifting your perspective or shifting your limiting beliefs, it's not like you wake up as a new person, but the shift is kind of subtle. You do feel it, but just don't, at least for me, I wouldn't expect to just wake up as a completely new person or whatever, but the shift is there and it is possible. So hopefully my ramblings made some sense in the reading, but the takeaway message for this is challenge your limiting beliefs. I believe November is when you will start to challenge that and kind of get rid of those limiting beliefs. Just know that you are enough, that challenges that come to you or challenges that you come across or run into aren't necessarily a sign that you should give up, but a way to challenge yourself, or a way to see things from different perspectives and motivate yourself even more. This here card is you seeing what you want to do, seeing that intuition. Finally, after challenging yourself, knowing what you want to do, having a clearer picture that isn't, fogged out or fogged by your negative beliefs. So yeah, I feel like this is the Seer card with the challenge card. It's about you finally taking on that challenge and you kind of being more comfortable with taking challenges, or at least not running away from challenges. In an unendable respect is of course a continuation of that, and you kind of being more daring and ambitious. So that was pile number 2, and the end of the reading. And as I said before, I do have my Instagram and Etsy down below for personal readings, and hopefully my ramblings made some sense in the reading, but I don't feel like doing this reading again, so leave a comment down below to clear up some things.